Today, instead of talking about one new feature, we wanted to bring you all of the available features in the brand new Cheats menu on RimWorld Console Edition. Introducing Cheats Mode. To turn on Cheats, press LT and the View button on the Xbox, or L2 and left on the D-pad on PlayStation. A warning will come up letting you know that using this feature will not count towards achievements. It will then tell you how to bring up the Cheats menu on whichever console you're playing on. Customizing colonists. You can now customize your colonists while in-game. Change their hair and beard shape and colour as well as any tattoos and apparel while continuing with your story. To edit the colonist's stats, select a colonist, open up their menu, go to the Stats tab, and with Cheats turned on you will see a new prompt allowing you to edit the stats and the passion of the character. Spawn Pawn. A pawn is a living or moving being in the game. You can spawn colonists, animals and adversaries from a list in the Cheats menu. Pawns will spawn in the relevant faction. For example, animals will spawn wild, colonists will spawn in the player's faction, pirate gunners will spawn in the pirates faction. Add prisoner. This spawns a random prisoner from a random faction, but remember the player needs to have a prison cell for this to work, a room with one or more beds that are all assigned for prisoners. Ideology players can also spawn slaves. Kills selected. Instantly kill or destroy a pawn or object, leaving behind corpses or resources. A second click removes them completely from the map. Spawn apparel. Select an item of apparel from a list of all in the game, including any that are otherwise unavailable. Material and quality are randomly selected. Placing stacks. You can place stacks in groups of 1, 25 and 75 depending on the item type. Placing the item will put it where you select or nearby depending on the scene. Damage until down damages the pawn until it's downed. Heal selected 100 removes a random injury. This may need to be used multiple times to restore a pawn back to health. Remove world condition removes map conditions such as solar flare and psychic drones. Do raid. You can generate a raid which creates a random faction encounter. Do manhunter. This generates a pack of Scaria-infested animals hunting for human flesh. A Manhunter pack generated by the cheat is the same as a Manhunter event that can generate in-game, so has 40% more points than a regular raid. Do Caravan. Selecting Do Caravan generates a trade caravan to come to your base. You are now able to quickly enhance your colonist's abilities by using the Cheats menu to simply unlock all research. And finally, you can change the terrain of an area of your choosing by selecting Set Terrain. For example, you can change a grassy area to ice, or make a garden more fertile. God Mode comes to console. We think it will give you an additional way to make RimWorld stories your own. While active, God Mode unlocks all player buildable buildings without research. These are constructed instantly and at no cost when placing down the blueprint. Deconstructing is instantaneous, so be careful removing walls and pillars, because it can cause roofs to collapse. Make sure you're protecting your colonists. A bonus is deconstructing leaves behind resources. Mining orders are also completely instant upon designation, but return the minimum yield. As with all cheats, God Mode has an impact on balance, and this can take away from the challenge of the game, but we understand the benefits this brings to both long-term players and beginners. Whether you're an experienced player who wants to skip forward past the initial starting stages, or a creative player who wants to test out new base designs or defences, we know this will be a popular addition, and we are excited to see what you create. You can now select multiple colonists in draft mode to form combat formations, readying your soldiers for battle. To create a combat formation, first draft your colonists and then select the ones you want to use. With your colonists selected, hold down the Move button and using the left stick, move it around until you have set the formation you want. Release the Move button and your colonists will form the formation you just created. Introducing Photo Mode. We wanted to give you the opportunity to show off your bases, capture memorable moments, or just sit back and watch the story unfold with a clean view of the action. Photo Mode allows you to switch off the UI and the HUD, so you can capture and share video and screenshots. We would love to see what you capture, so make sure you tag us at RimWorld Console on Twitter and Facebook. At the start of the game, when you're choosing your colonists, you can now customize your colonist. When starting a new game, you'll find the option to change the style of appearance of your colonists using the L2 or LT button. Similar to the in-game styling station, here you can change your colonist's hairstyle and colour. You can also change apparel colours. and ideology players can opt to give colonists face or body tattoos. Switch to the second tab to alter their gender and skin colour. Starting a custom scenario will make it possible to enable editing more than just appearance. Here you can change your colonists' biological age and their chronological age. You can also change their backstory. Maybe your colonist was an adopted orphan or a shelter child. Each backstory will change your colonist's skills. As an adult, a warrior will have more shooting skills than a warship captain, for example. You can also choose which traits you want your colonists to have. You can make them abrasive, neurotic, or beautiful. Traits will affect how your colonists relate to precepts and memes and have other effects such as their global work speed or psychic sensitivity. RimWorld is a story generator, and all the best stories have characters with flaws and issues, and traits and backstories are complex to mix and match nicely. But we know how requested custom colonists have been and did our best to balance role-playing and customization options with the game's core mechanics. We also want to make sure all of these changes are optional and out of the way of first-time players, getting players into the game as quickly as possible and not bogged down in options during a new game. We're excited to get this into players' hands and can't wait to see what stories you experience and share. Don't forget to tag us with all your new creations on Twitter and Facebook at RimWorld Console.